Hello everyone, this is 20xx Gigas, and I'm back with another guide on Zim. Today I'm going to be discussing one of Zim's best moves, if not his best move of his entire kit, and that is his down special called Expslowsion. I'm serious when I say this. I think this is the reason why he is top tier, respectfully. And I also understand why this attack also may be a core reason why people don't want to rematch Zim players, even myself included. But let me explain to you why this move is so good. So the first part is this move has varying levels. So you have your level 1, as shown here, single glint of light, throw it, 1 hit, right? Level 2, you got to charge it a little bit. Over here, you see it, it's a spear, you throw it, 2 hits. Level 3. 1, 2, 3. That's your third hit. And of course, level 4, or the highest level. As you can see, it's a massive spear. Advantage 1, 2, 3, right? As you can see, level 1 is your quickest, does 7, and your highest, level 4, does 15. So depending on the charge, the attack ranges from 7% to 15%. In a real match, there's no way you're going to charge this move full. I would say very rarely you will ever reach level 4. But that's the wonders of slime. You can do that, and it'll get you to at least level 2. So keep that in mind. The main utility of this move, aside from racking damage, is that it's your setup for KOs. And mainly the one I use is level 1. You throw it, go for a neutral strong. Now, I will say, of course, depending on character and, of course, weights, that will play into a big factor regarding the success on KOing your opponent, but that's your typical setup right there. Or, an earlier percent, you can throw it, explosion, go for a grab. Again, I would like to emphasize is that this is not a combo, but a setup. As you can see, there are a lot of ways your opponent can just get out of the situation if needed, especially if you try to do this at high percents, like this, there are variables to keep in mind. Another great thing about this move is the properties, or my self-proclaimed properties. There's the favorable property and, of course, the neutral property. The favorable property, as what I'm mainly describing here, is when this move hits your opponent, right? It hits your opponent, doesn't matter the charge, as long as it hits your opponent, you won't take any damage. The neutral property, which will probably be the most common use, is when you use this move and you throw it at a surface, whether it be the floor, or even if you fail to detonate it. If you don't throw it, that's also neutral. And what makes it neutral is that everyone gets hit. Obviously, you can use this as like a quick recovery, but just keep that in mind, especially at the higher levels. If you try to charge this move out, your opponent may be quick to shut you down, and you may lose a stock or take damage when you let it charge. But for taller characters, and for this example now, what I like to do, I can use it to harass characters. See how big that hitbox is? And look, especially if you charge it at higher levels, look at that. For someone like Reptar, they're screwed. And it's even worse because they don't even have hitboxes on. This is just information you have to keep in mind. But that's what makes this move really good and really awesome. The downside of this attack of course, is that there's startup to it. You can't just throw this as quickly as it seems. You know what I mean? You got to charge it. You got to, release the charge, and then you have to throw it after. So that's one thing to keep in mind about this move. Another weakness this move has is that there are very easy ways to interrupt this. And what I mean is, if your opponent throws a dash attack, or even most cases a projectile, guess what? Boom, that detonates the attack. So keep that in mind. Also, I mean, a way I kind of learned to kind of circle around this weakness is to, if ideally, would be to charge it more. So if your opponent does a dash attack, sure, their dash attack will go through the first explosion, but in most cases, the second or the explosion after will hit your opponent. Another interesting property of this move, if you press the throw, I don't know, it may vary depending on your platform. If you use Explosion and press throw in the air, you can Z drop it, right? If you're closer to the ground, the explosion won't detonate. But if you're further away, it will detonate. You know what I mean? This is just another way you can mix up using this move. Another great utility, along with the Z drop, is of course, I mean, as you can see how big the hitbox is, you can use it to edge guard. Now, it will take time for you to kind of memorize the distance, but generally, I think this move it covers about half the stage. Obviously, the light one will travel further, faster, but I think it covers just about half. This is outward momentum, of course. In time, you'll practice. Big thing you can do is that while you're throwing it, if you flick it forward, that will increase the travel distance of the attack. But yes, that is for Explosion. I will be discussing more moves for another video. Till then, take care. Hope to see more members of the Urkin Empire.